Hi everyone, good morning. So this video is related to the overall analysis of yesterday's CAT 22 paper, considering all the three sections. So first and foremost, in all the three slots, in VARC, they introduced a new question type. Initially, it used to be odd man out and summary and parajumbles. This year, they had two questions of paragraph completion, which is a new thing. Second new change or the pattern breaker that they did was for the case of LRDI. So last year and in 2020 as well, they had two sets of six questions each and two sets of four questions each. That used to be the breakup. This year they went ahead with four sets of five questions each. So here you had to identify two sets, which was the most important thing that you're gonna try out. And lastly, talking about quants. So quants this year was ever slightly so more difficult compared to last year's quant. And this is like a overall feeling. Now let's go section wise analysis, diving deeper. The first section, VARC, verbal ability, reading comprehension. Four passages, four questions, that is 16 questions of VARC, eight questions of verbal ability distributed across three para jumbles, three summaries, and two para completions. Slot one, the four RCs, supernatural figures, Chinese, Western views on imitation, Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism, political philosophy. Good attempts in VRC slot one could have been around 15 to 17 questions with a high accuracy of 85-90%. Slot two, the RCs were cephalopods, camouflage, which is basically talking about octopus and other sea animals. Then there is a technical social dualism, musicking and modern humanity, and then institution. Institution passage was difficult one. Slot three, the RC topics, log of bios and technos, effect of active and passive software, social disorganization and crime, and impact of original literature was the difficult one. In slot two, the good attempts could have been 16 to 18. Compared to all the three slots, slot three, I think overall was a little easier. So cutoffs for slot three might be slightly higher compared to slot one and two, but obviously then normalization will take place, and then the scores will be scaled up or scaled down based on the requirement. Slot two good attempts in VARC could have been 16 to 18 questions roughly. Slot three, as I said, was the most easy. So 17 to 19. The attempts you can see are going up slightly. And you'll see the same pattern in all the other two sections as well of DILR and quants as well. So second section coming to DILR, flat all three slots have the same pattern, four sets of five questions. That's the breakup of 20 questions. Slot one, the sets were tokens, distribution of tokens, the funding of the startup, four people, 12 goals, eight games, metro map. This is basically networks and paths, and then Venn diagram of three variables, that is 1 day event, 2 day event, 3 day event, school reunion planning. Slot two, revenue and cost of four companies. Basically, this was, I think, the scatter plot. Then three salesmen representing and selling the products. Then four warehouses and four destinations. Basically, this was, I think, also networks and paths type. And then cosmetic products with FDA and EU approval. That was the difficult one. Again, a Venn diagram kind of a thing. Slot three, mortality rate, number of cases over 5 days, a tournament of four people over 8 rounds, and computer science and non-CS students. That was the fourth set, which was the difficult one. Slot one, good attempt could have been 8 and 10, 8 to 10 are roughly. That is two sets, and maybe if you are good enough, you go for the third set slightly. And slot two, again 10 to 12, and slot three, 9 to 11 would have been the good attempts again. So roughly there about two and a half sets is what we are suggesting. Two sets, if you are done, you are looking at 95 plus percentile in LRDI. If you ask me, if you have done even one set correctly, that is five questions out of the 20 questions of LRDI, I'm very sure, my gut feeling is that you will definitely clear the cutoff of LRDI, which is 80-85 percentile. That is for sure. And then straight away, let's say one set clearing is 85-80, and then you do two sets, and straight away you are looking at a jump of approximately 10 odd percentile, which is around 90 to 95 percentile in LRDI. If you could have done 2.5 sets or 3 sets, you are the rock star. You are looking at 99 plus. Coming to the third section, that is quants. All the slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, all of them as usual have the heavyweight arithmetic, around 8 to 9 questions in each of the slots. Algebra surprisingly had a lot of questions this year, which is a welcome change again, going back to the tradition and breaking the tradition and including more of algebra. Then geometry with 4 questions, speed and modern maths, and then again numbers. They're about 3 to 4 questions in each. Good attempt slot 1 could have been 13 to 14 with again high accuracy of 80-85%. Slot 2 12 to 13, and slot 3 11 to 12. Comparison of all the 3 slots, as I said. So slot 1 was similar to last year's VRC. Slot 1 is what we are seeing. Slot 2 again similar. Slot 3 slightly easier compared to last year's slot 3 of VRC. Those scores might go up, so they will have to scale down to balance out. Similarly, DILR in slot 1 and slot 2 similar to last year's, but slot 3 was slightly difficult. So the scores will slightly reduce, but that means at a lower score you will get a very high percentile. Quant slightly easier though, has to be scaled down. Slot 2 similar. Slot 3 difficult, so the scores will go down. That means low scores, high percentiles. Overall final estimate, the slot 1 scores will be slightly up by 2-3 marks, and slot 3 scores will be slightly up by 3-4 marks because it was the difficult slot of all the 3 slots. Slot 2 as what it used to be last year. For 99th percentile raw score, obviously this is before scaling up or scaling down, is around 88-90 in slot 1 is what we are expecting. For slot 2 it is around 90-92 plus, and for slot 3 around 85-88 plus. And then the final estimate, the percentiles, 99.5 plus, slot 1 100 plus, slot 2 105 plus, and slot 3 98 plus. For 99 around 85-90, slot 1, slot 2 88-92, slot 3 85-88, and so on so forth. For 80th percentile or 85th percentile, slot 1 80th percentile is around 40-42, slot 2 around 40-45, and slot 3 35-37. And for 85th percentile, slot 1 42-45, slot 2 45-48, and slot 3 42-45, roughly thereabout. And coming to the final verdict, the comparison of all the 3 individual sections according to the slot 1. VRC slot 1 was easier to VRC slot 2, was easier to VRC slot 3. Then DILR slot 3 is more tougher than DILR slot 1 than DILR slot 2. Quant slot 3 was difficult than quant slot 2 and quant slot 1. So quant slot 1 was the easiest of all 3 ever. So the comparison is so little that you would not even come to know. But to keep the overall difficulty level of the paper at the same level, they have to do these small incremental changes in each of the sections basically. So this is the final estimate. Obviously this will slightly change when the actual response sheet comes out, and the actual scores will come out, and then we'll have to again take a decision based on that. But meanwhile, this is what the rough estimates is, and now based on this, you can start deciding for your applications. Similarly, let the actual response sheet comes out, and then you probably will be in a better position to decide which ones to apply for and which ones not to apply for. So that's it from our end. Thank you so much. If any questions, feel free to get back to us. Thank you.